What would it cost to unlock one tier 5 troop in the very first day of a kingdom's life? This is the question that was asked of me by a jumper group that is planning to do exactly that. One player is getting tier 5 troops, and they're going to pay whatever it takes. So how much does it cost, and do you need to be some sort of celebrity or movie star to actually afford it? And speaking of celebrities and movie stars, y'all remember my buddy Negan, who used to show up on streams? My friend Negan named himself after that character in the back middle from The Walking Dead, who, by the way, is doing a crossover event with the sponsor of today's video, the Amazon Appstore and Puzzles and Survival. Puzzles and Survival is a city-building war game in a zombie apocalypse where you need to survive, so it's only natural that they do a crossover with The Walking Dead, bringing in characters like Negan, who I cannot wait to actually unlock, and then send a picture of it to my buddy Negan and see if he wants to play too. Much like the city building war games that you're accustomed to, there is a center building, in this case it's the headquarters, that you level up, that controls the level of all the other buildings that you can have, and there are different troop types that you can unlock. You've got your fighters, shooters, and riders. That is basically the equivalent of infantry, archers, and cavalry. And also, instead of siege units, we've got a vehicle depot, and these vehicles do look pretty awesome. Now, there are also heroes that you can go collect, so I am looking forward to collecting Negan once he becomes available. Much like a Pokemon, I'm going to catch him. And if you're interested in trying out this game, use the link in the description. It'll take you to the Amazon Appstore, where you can download Puzzles and Survival. When you follow that link in the description, it'll take you to a page that looks like this. And the reason you want to download using my link and from the Amazon Appstore is that you can then use Amazon coins if you decide to make purchases, and you can get your purchases at a discount. So for example, if I were to pick up $82 worth of Amazon coins, I can get $100 worth of stuff in game. This has given me a definite edge over people that are also spending but aren't using the Amazon App Store. So if you use that link in the description, it will not only support the channel and let the sponsor of today's video know that I sent you, but if you play Puzzles and Survival, you can do so and get stuff at a discount. And by the way, we've actually got room in our alliance. We're currently sitting at 78 out of 100. We're the second strongest alliance by power, and I've left room for new people to join. So consider joining us in the Smash Squad. You can play with us starting today. The link is in the description to go to the Amazon App Store and download the game. Again, using that link will support the channel, and then you can use Amazon coins. So if you do buy something, you can get stuff at a discount. And consider checking out what other games are in the Amazon App Store. You might be pleasantly surprised to find that some other game you're playing is already there, and you can enjoy the discounts for that game as well. The Amazon App Store is available on emulators, Android, and also Windows 11, and I hope to see you soon in our state, that's state 538, in Puzzles and Survival. For those of you that tuned into my channel yesterday, you know that I went through the process of what you would have to do to try to unlock tier 5 troops in a single day. I talked about the best civilizations to pick, when you do different activities, what VIP to get, and all that sort of stuff. The process of how you do this fast will be in that video, but this video will address the actual dollar cost. What can you actually get by buying the different bundles? And it was important that I create this new account because the bundles that are here are the bundles that you would actually be able to buy if you were going to go in like a crazy person, and no judgment, no judgment, and do this all in a single day. Time is your biggest ally in this style of game, where you can get a ton of stuff for free over time. And the thing that you often pay for in this game is just getting stuff sooner. And because it's a war game, what you're buying ultimately is edge over other people who don't have access to the same stuff because you got it sooner than they did. Now, with all that said, you all had some pretty funny reactions to the idea of getting T5 troops in a single day. For example, David updated their comment to say, if I were Elon Musk's son, I'd create a brand new account. From day one, I'd have VIP 18 and 600 million power. I could rule that kingdom. Ha ha! Seth said their budget is 10K, and they're also planning on going siege for their first T5. Cannot recommend that. Xavier said, imagine buying everything for 10 days before jumping and not passing City Hall 7 so you can use the beginner's teleport. Then do whatever you want after you jump. I actually am more afraid of the opposite problem. that you actually start buying in the like jumper process before you actually go. By the way, if you don't know what a jumper is, card will be up in the top. And you actually somehow accidentally mess up your ability to jump and you're stuck in the kingdom. And like you went through this whole effort and you're spending all this money and you get wrecked. I would not do big spending before a jump. I'm just saying I would only spend after the jump is done. Here's a comment that says, to do it on day one, you'd have to use a lot of gems. This is true, since you haven't stacked bundles. You're looking at around 40k USD worth of gems. Yikes. And spoiler alert, they're actually pretty close to what it might take just for the gems, but we'll get to the full dollar amount in just a minute here. Instinctive Power says you'd have to buy a lot of raw gems to get this done day one and gem a lot of things. The bundles will not get you very far, and this is very true. The bundles will not get you far. Tim said about 200 days to unlock T5. No farm accounts, no money paid. Just play it every day. Gosh bless the grinders who freaking get it done, man. Good for you. Jonathan jumps in and says, I started over Rise of Kingdoms for the third time late November. So they know what they're doing. In Kingdom 2486, I was able to achieve T5 infantry the same day we captured the shrines in Zone 2. This ran me 12,500 US dollars. I made an effort to be as efficient as possible with the knowledge I had at the time. So based on the comments we got on this video, the guess was anywhere between $12,500 and over $40,000 to get the job done. But what actually are the speed up and resource costs for getting to T5? Just the buildings alone are going to run you a staggering amount of resources, because unlike the time where I took an account to City Hall level 25, we're talking about leveling up pretty much every building you've got, except the ones that are duplicated, like multiple farms and multiple lumber mills, etc., all the way up to 25, because you have to get your academy to 25, and you have to in order to get your T5 troops. So we're talking about 1.2 billion food, 1.38 billion wood, and 933 million stone. Resources that you need for building. GG. GG, man, that's a lot of resources. The amount of time that it takes to do all these buildings, oh man. After you get helps and other time reductions. By the way, we included 15% speed for VIP, 50% from research that you'll do, and 5% from your civilization, so 70% total, will run you 12,176 hours worth of speed ups. That is a lot of speed ups, but that's just the building speeds, baby. For research, which I don't even have an academy here. Let me go get an academy. Research is going to run you a lot of resources. Not as much as the building, though, but you're going to start to need a lot of gold. 873 million food for your research. Same amount of wood. 658 million stone. And 492 million gold. The time after reductions from helps, and also you get 15% research from VIP. We're going up to VIP 12 here for this operation. The research speed boosts that you're going to get, because you're going to gun for these first, like mathematics, and also the fact that your academy gives you some boosts as well, a full 25%, and also the civilization swap to Korea for a grand total of a 68% reduction. You're still looking at 40,200 hours, approximately. This means your grand total resource requirement is going to be 2.1 billion food, 2.258 billion wood, 1.6 billion stone, and almost 500 million gold. I rounded a little bit. Not to mention that you also need Books of the Covenant to level up your castle. Okay, Books of the Covenant, those are fun to have. And then also Arrows of Resistance, which you'll have to buy in order to level up your watchtower. Those run you 10 gems a pop, and you need about 40,000 of them in total. That's 20k each, by the way, of arrows and books. This brings us to a grand total of 2,182 days worth of speed ups. Oh god, this is going to be bad. So can you actually buy the things you would need on a day one unlock? And the answer is no, sort of. Because ultimately what you're going to have to do is make up the difference for what you cannot buy in bundles with just raw gems and buying those things from the shop. So you can see over here that you can buy gems for $100. You get 25,000 gems. I've got bonus gems still because I have only bought each of these one time. I don't know if you buy this multiple times, does that 5,000 bonus gems go away? I kind of assume that it does, but it actually matters a whole heck of a lot for the calculation. But I'm just going to assume that all your excess you have to buy for 25,000 gems at $100 a pop. And the place that you're going to buy that is actually the shop over here. Tragically, the best you can do is 7,000 gems per 2 million gold that you're over. The same amount of gems, by the way, for 3.75 million stone. The same amount for 5 million wood or 5 million food. Ouch. And if we go to speed ups, the best you can do, assuming you always were buying in 30-day increments, which is not always going to be the case, is still 40,000 gems for 30 days of speed ups. The pain is so real. And let me just say, why are we going to T5 in a single day anyways, besides the showiness of it? Right? Like, what do you accomplish? Why do you need T5 on the first day anyways? What do you have to do? You got to fight somebody else that is going to get T5 on the first day? No, almost certainly not. So what actually do you accomplish other than flexing? And hey, it's the internet, baby. And the internet is made for flexing. So, okay. What does it cost, Chisgule? Well, we did the math on everything you can buy from the bundles, and let me actually show you exactly what bundles are available. On your brand new account, if you bought King's Coronation, every single super value bundle that was available to you, and unfortunately, it's not like bumper season, it's just resource reserves, the daily special offer, the growth fund, the double gems in the gem store, all these goodies, and also the custom resource bundle. This actually is the Lifesaver, and I'm going to talk about Lifesaver, why that is in just a minute. But if you bought all this stuff, it would get you 1.3 billion food, 1.3 billion wood, about 782 million stone, and 262 million gold. For those of you keeping track, we are still really short of what we needed. We are still short on resources, okay? After buying all that stuff, which, by the way, this is going to run you $3,700, actually, technically, probably more. That'll get you 244 days worth of speed ups. Remember that we needed over 2,000 days worth of speed ups, which means that if you wanted to do this, buying out the shop one time on day one, first day of a kingdom's life, you are going to have to spend a lot of gems, like a absolutely jaw-dropping amount of gems on your resources. Because remember, you are short 787 million food, 944 million wood, 809 million stone. This is the amount you're short, and 230 million gold, okay? Not to mention the books and arrows, which means you will need a grand total of about 7.7 million gems to get the job done, which, if we subtract the gems on hand minus what you needed to get to VIP 12, which is what we're doing, and to get the Books of the Covenant and the Arrows of Resistance, you're still at about 7 million gems that you're going to need to get, which all in all, you're probably spending over $28,000 on gems and then almost $4,000 on bundles. I mean, you're looking at over $32,000 in total to get T5 within one reset of the shop on the very first day. Technically, you could still be within one day of a new server's life, but get a reset of the shop. Aha! Now, the reset of the shop is really important, and this is why the custom resource bundle is the Lifesaver, because you see, the thing that's bleeding us out is not really the speed ups. It's about 2.5 million gems on speed ups. All the rest of the gems are on resources, which sucks. So to solve that problem, this bundle is actually insane. Now, this is not a bundle I recommend to almost anybody who's actually just buying regularly on Rise of Kingdoms. No way, because it doesn't actually give you gems. But you don't care about the gems. In this weird, unusual scenario, all you care about is God tiers amounts of resources because you're spending God tier amounts of gems because you don't have the resources. So this bundle gives you an insane amount of resources. And you can buy the $100 tier twice. And it should reset. I assume this bundle will reset every single day that it's available. The custom resource bundle is actually super, super crucial. This one bundle alone, if I get a look here, is responsible for over 1 billion resources a day from your buying. This is the key. This bundle is actually the reason that we are going to be able to dramatically reduce the cost to get the job done, assuming you don't have to get T5 within one reset, which I think is perfectly fair to say, hey, I still did it in the first day if it's within the first 24 hours of the Kingdom's Age, which, by the way, you can view by zooming all the way out, go to the globe, and you tap on the realm, and look, server age, it's right there, all right? So we're going for faster than 24 hours. You can have a second reset of the shop within the 24-hour window. Now we're back in business, okay? So I did the math around which bundles you can't actually buy multiple times because there are bundles you cannot get again. For example, one of those bundles is going to be King's Coronation, but others would include things like you cannot get New World more than once, for example. All the other one-time bundles and goodies, I had to swipe those out of the math for the second round of purchasing that you will go and do for this insane day one unlock, okay? So, if you go and do that, congratulations, you have taken the resource issue off the table. You will now be able to accomplish this if you pick the right resources from the custom resource bundle at a 0 gem cost for resources, which means you still have the measly 2.4 million gems that you'll need in order to afford the speed ups, because you will still need, even after buying a bunch of bundles that have speed ups again, 1,807 days worth of speed ups. GG. Now, you also have a lot more gems on hand, okay? So the grand total gems you would need, if you include books and arrows as well, can't forget those, is about 2.78 million gems. Then you subtract the gems you have on hand. It's like 1.378 million gems on hand. So you need about 1.4 million gems you got to buy. And that sucks, by the way. So you're spending $5,600 or so on gems, $6,100 on bundles. I did a little bit of rounding as I said that, but we're looking about $11,700 in total. If you can always buy your speed ups and use them in 30-day increments, which you can't, by the way. So it's going to be slightly more expensive than this to take this account to a T5 account in one single day. So that one person who said like $12,500 is what it took, I don't know if they had the resource reserve bundle because we're doing it faster than they did. And I don't think you could be probably as efficient as I'm hoping you could be in this instance. So I think it probably ends up being over $12,000 all said and done to, with 2 resets of the shop, go in and unlock T5 troops. Now, I still don't know why, in such a young kingdom, you would need it within the first 24 hours. Sure, you could run around and establish your dominance, and maybe everybody will just fall in line because you are the alpha predator in this game. If you've got T5 and nobody else does, and you're way, 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 way ahead of everybody else. Remember, we've still only talked about unlocking 1 T5 troop. You've neglected the other ones, and it's going to be cavalry because a part of the math that we did here is buying the VIP bundles through VIP 12. So you've got your Minamoto, and like, I guess you pick Sun Tzu secondary because your starting civilization was China, and like, let's go, baby. That's what you've got. That's it. I think a far more reasonable aspiration, although still very spendy, is to go for like T5 by KVK Season 1. And that is maybe more reasonable when compared to the $12,000 or so or more, really, that it would take to take a little wimpy account all the way to T5 on day 1. Now, look, I'll be the first to admit that perhaps the math is not perfect here, and I do need to give a shout out to a couple folks here. First of all, to the group that's doing the jump. Their information will be in the description. They helped put together this math and were instrumental in getting me the information needed to actually do the evaluation. Also, got to give a shout out to Rock Calculator because we use their site for figuring out what the time and also resource costs were going to be. And if you want to check out the sponsor of today's video and play Puzzles and Survival with me, I'd love to have you. We literally have space in our alliance. Follow the link in the description. That'll take you to the Amazon Appstore. And thank you again to the Amazon Appstore for sponsoring today's video. You should check them out if you're spending in mobile games and want to save. If the game that you're playing is in that App Store, you might be able to save an upwards of 20% on your purchases, which, let me tell you, I'm enjoying that for Puzzles and Survival. And if you want to see the detailed video about the process you would use to take this account all the way to T5 in a single day, the card will be over here. And if you want to see when I took an account just to City all 25 in a day, the card will be right over there in just a second.